Be advised that the views and opinions of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to CSR. My name is Sara Suguitan, and still on the art education front, we have a very special guest, the owner of the Leo DV Art Learning Center, Ms. Rossana Wang. Good evening, Rossana. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'd like to ask, kasi your art learning center is called Leo DV Art Learning Center. What is Leo DV? Is that the name of your husband, your children? Where did you get that name?
Oh, Leo da V stands for Leonardo da Vinci, because in our art school we teach everything that Leonardo does, drawing, sculpture, so we named it after him.
You named it.
Yeah.
You chose talaga
Yeah.
si Leonardo da Vinci to be the sort of patron for the
Yes.
Art Learning Center. Pag sinabi bang Art Learning Center, is that just for summer workshops? Ganyan, di ba? Pag sinabing art, parang pang summer workshop lang. Pag nakabakasyon yung mga bata, that's when you enroll in art
No,
workshops? No?
we're open all year long, and then our center is not only for children, we also welcome any art enthusiasts from age 3 to 99.
Really? Talagang
Yes.
all ages?
Yeah, all ages, as long
okay.
as they love art. And
Pero-
it doesn't matter whether they have not even drawn or painted before, we welcome them.
Kahit wala experience or...
No,
how-
that's what we're here for.
Okay, so from ages 3 to 99.
Yes.
As you said,
Yes.
any art enthusiast. Tapos
Yeah.
you're open all year long. As you
Yeah.
said, do you also parang have classes? Talaga may enrollment kayo during school days? Or like June, malapit ng pasukan. So you also have calendar year or school year?
Yeah,
Parang ganun.
actually we're trying to come up with something we call, because our school is very new, we just opened last April 8th, so we're trying to come up with something like a starter art.
Starter
for
art.
Yes, for ages 3 to 6, and also Art Explorer for ages 6 to 9. And we have also a beginner's class, beginner's drawing and painting for ages 12 up to the 13. And then from there, teen and adults, we kind of combine them. So we are trying to start as young as students for as young as 3 years old. We expose them to different kinds of media, crayons, markers, clay, and then we also have paper cutting to make collage, things like that.
Okay, how come you started an art learning center? It can be a sports clinic or a
Yeah.
tutorial, pero you chose art. Why art? Why an art learning center? What's the inspiration, or is there something na parang you found that is wanting in our education system, for example? That's why you wanted to teach specifically art or give it more time and focus?
Yeah, number one, selfish reason. Actually, I'm into selling art materials. I'm the exclusive distributor for Lyra Giotto products from Europe.
Wow, so talagang European art materials.
Yes,
Okay.
European art materials
That's
for
hard
students.
to find here, no? That's
Yes,
hard to
yes.
find.
Because a lot of our art materials here in Philippines is from China, no brand China. So our art supplies are really good, non-toxic, very safe for children. So it started there. And besides, it's like my retirement business. I kind of want to do something, that I always wanted to do ever since I was young, but never got to do it because I was involved with my family business. So
So you always wanted to teach?
to be a teacher, yes.
So even when you were young, you knew in your heart na,
Yeah.
ako, I want to be a teacher, and I'm
Yes.
also interested in art, and teaching
Yeah.
art is now, as you said, your retirement, you're fulfilling your dream
Yes.
to be an art
Yeah.
teacher by, having your own art school. That's really very, I admire you for doing that. Ang galing. Pero why didn't you become a teacher earlier? As you said, may family business.
Yeah, we have family business, and so it was kind of in a way.
Parang na-divert siguro yung
Yeah.
attention mo,
So
no?
I wasn't encouraged when I was younger to pursue this kind of occupation. So, but I always wanted to be a teacher. I was a Sunday school teacher, and then this
So
one
may-
is making me very happy.
Very rewarding. I
Yeah,
would
very
say.
rewarding. Yeah,
Oh.
I've never known that I wanted, you know, I would like other people's children because, you know.
O kasi children can be makulit, diba?
Yes.
They can be troublesome also, ganyan. Pero taking care of other people's children, I mean, in a parental capacity, kasi as a teacher, you're their parent in the classroom, diba? It's, as you said, it's a very different experience. It's very rewarding for you.
But our school is not really something like other, you know, what you call this, like daycare center. We don't do that. We don't accept that kind of responsibility. Ours is mostly really training them to do art. If they don't want to do art, then we don't want to accept their money because we find that it's very unfair to the parents to accept money if, you know, we're not really doing our job. So we really encourage the parents to also encourage their children to, you know, to love doing it and then to do it. Yeah.
Yes. You have here some sample works of your students. Maybe we can show them on TV. Can you start with, and what's the story behind, for example, this one? This is a very popular movie icon right now, Iron Man.
This is done by a student. He's only 6 years old, and he, according to his dad, he doesn't like to draw. But then one time, when he came to the center, because his mom was working nearby the center, the mom said, you know, I don't have any place to leave you, so you just come here. And then he saw other people drawing, and then since then, he wanted to draw, and then this is what he did. And the father said,
no experience,
no, every time there's a drawing assignment, he would tell his dad to do it for him.
So he passes the homework to the dad. But this is not by the dad. This is by the
everything
by
himself
the
because that's one of our requirements. We never do anything for the students. They have to do. We kind of guide them, you know, tell them, okay, this is how you go about it, but we don't make it for them.
All right. Okay. This is also, as I mentioned to you, it is very Andy Warhol. This is also by a young
art.
Pop art. Yeah, pop art. So how old yung artist behind?
This artist is 14 years old.
14
Never
years
liked
old.
art. His uncle enrolled him. Yeah.
Never liked art.
Never liked art. He doesn't even know how to draw, according to him. So, well, we just, so we told him, you know, you enroll in modern painting if that's what you want, because it doesn't have to be realistic and you can interpret anything you want with modern art.
Pero paano disiplinahin yun? If you have a student who says na, I don't like art per se, and then, but they want to learn art, paano yun? I mean, how do you teach them to, for example,
to like art?
Yeah, to like art.
Well, we just show them some works, they'll like it.
Talaga?
Yeah, and then, but we tell them you really have to do something because if you don't make projects, there's no point, you know, to be accepting you as a student.
So you also require your students, of course, to have a project, to have an output. Kasi, I mean, how can they express what they've learned if wala naman silang output,
yeah, that's
diba?
correct, yeah.
And also, they use your materials. You said they're non-toxic, and I bet the colors last longer with, you know, with
more brilliant.
Yeah, it's more
very
brilliant colors.
Nice color laid down.
For this one, what material was used here? Is this
acrylic?
Acrylic, okay. Oh, ang galing, no? Ang ganda. It's very, very, very Andy Warhol. And
that is his second time.
Second time.
This is his first time.
First attempt niya. Oh, wow. It's not bad, diba?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't like to paint realistically, but this is, ano ba
this
tawag
is
dito?
what we call a fauvism.
Okay, a
fauvism movement.
Okay. Fauvism?
Yeah, F-A-U-V-I-S-M.
All right. So, can you explain some more? What are the elements
it's
here?
very modern. It's very wild, you know. During the time when the Fauvism movement was coming out, some people call it like wild beast because it's kind of wild, you know.
Okay, but this is a view of,
it's very representational. It's nothing like a realistic art.
Yeah,
if you see the things, you know.
It's looking, hindi ko alam, is it looking out or looking in? Diba you have
I think he says
window and then.
We told him to paint his, to paint a nice place he can imagine, and that's what he did.
And this is from his imagination.
Yeah,
I
think,
Oh, ang galing.
Adored.
Wow, yes, it's very beautiful. Really, the colors are so lively and brilliant. As I said, well, the materials that you import are, you know, their quality. So, I mean, if you're an artist, you would be very specific siguro about your materials. No? You don't just want, you know, something you can buy over the counter, sort of, diba? Okay, so how about this one?
This one is a macaw bird. It was done by another student and in canvas. So we also offer canvas painting using acrylic for now. But we're working on something for oil and watercolor. We're trying to set up a class for that too.
Wow, yeah, I think this is very colorful.
Very nice, no?
Talagang the colors shout, you know, it's very vibrant.
This is done by Lady.
Wow.
more mature than all of these. These are students, like
Yeah.
very young.
Pero is she also an amateur artist or meron ng
Yeah, she
experience?
has background, a little background, and she wants to hone her skill.
Okay, wow, very interesting. But as you said, you know, from young people to adults, so from youngsters to adult, you know, I mean, you accept everyone who has an interest in art. How about special children? Do you also accept them as students?
Well, we have a special student. He comes in together with his brother, but we put him in the open art class. You know, like he doesn't follow any syllabus, course syllabus. He just does what he wants.
Yes, I think that's also a better environment for him.
Yes.
To have an open, as you said, open environment, open art.
Yeah, open art, like because all the students, we require them to finish their work. We require them to submit a certain number of projects, and then we'll give them a certificate. But this student, you know, we just let them be. This kind of students, we just let them be whatever they want to do. And it was so surprising, like he does clay cars, and then because he loves cars. So what he does is he does clay cars, and then pictures of cars over and over again. But it's very nice.
Cars.
Yeah, it's all about cars.
There's a certain discipline, no? Yung mga special children who are also creative. You can see na may consistency din sa art nila, no? Like what yours, he loves cars, and it's always, everything he creates is about, it's a car.
Yes.
Para gano'n, in paintings, in clay, and everything.
He does that over and over again.
Is it possible, for example, to teach them a technique? Like, for example, like here, di ba, parang, I think you teach him, yung kanina, ito pala, this one, you teach a specific technique to a student. Can you also do that with special children, or iba yung ano?
It's different case-to-case basis, depending how different they are, you know. But
you have to adjust to them.
Yes.
Kasi talagang
You'd
iba
be
yung
surprised.
needs, di ba?
You'd be surprised how good they are. At times, even better than, you know, some students.
But it's innate. I mean, the talent is also very innate. Okay, let's move forward with the other artwork. This is also very colorful.
Pop
Tama
art.
ba? Oh, pop art din
Yes.
siya. So is it the same artist?
No, it's a different artist. This is
okay.
done by a girl. I think she's better than, she's more advanced a little bit than the, I can't call it better, sorry, more advanced than the other one.
Yeah, speaking of that, is there such a thing as an ugly artwork or an ugly painting?
No such thing as, what you call this, a wrong drawing.
No such thing.
No such
No
thing.
such thing.
Because especially as you move towards the modern times, the modern art, you know, you can do anything you want. You know, the cubism, when they distort, there's so much distortion.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's no such thing as
As an ugly art.
You
Yeah,
know,
pero how do you grade your students, for example?
No, we
No,
don't
so
do
no
that.
grading. So long as you have an output, then
Yes.
you have finished the exercise.
Yes.
Ganon. Yeah, I think that's very good, no? Kasi as you said, you were telling me earlier, art is very important. It's in your clothes, diba?
Yes.
It's in your bedroom,
House,
diba?
yeah.
In your house, everything.
Yeah.
But I mean, is our educational system somehow not giving it proper importance or emphasis?
No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not enough because like every time there's a typhoon, then they will cancel all the art classes. For the more important subject, they call this minor subject, art. But then if you look at everything, our everyday life, it's all about art. The clothes we wear, the shoes we wear, the newspapers we read. Everything is all about art. The things we use, the gadgets, you know, we use.
Yes.
Everything has an art into it.
So it's important na even we don't relegate it as a minor subject, di ba? Is that what you're saying? Na parang, as you said, it's a lifestyle eh. We live and
Yes.
breathe art.
Yes.
Tama ka sa gadgets. It reflects the personality of the
Yes.
owner, di ba? The casing and then lahat ng borloloy and
Oo.
art in it. And we
Yeah.
call it arte, di ba? It's an expression of each and everyone's personality. Pero somehow we think of it as a minor subject. Oo nga, parang it's something na hobby lang, ganyan.
And I feel sad
Oo.
because when I was in high school, they made us buy watercolor set, and I never use it
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
because there was never time for the art class. So we started like we were supposed to have art class, but we never did.
Lagi siyang, you always switch it with something. I
Yeah.
mean, the school always
Yes.
gives it the lowest priority.
There's a
kumbaga.
storm, there's a typhoon, so we have to make up for the lost hours for other subjects. Well, art has to be the one to go first.
Yeah.
PE and art
laging sinasacrifice ang
Ed and
class.
art, the first one to always
Art
go.
education.
Yeah.
How can we change that? What do you think? I mean, I know you started your own learning center, and I think that's a very good step. By the way, are you planning to expand it nationwide or just
I don't know
right
where
now?
this will take us because we're just open for like a month.
1 month na.
Yeah.
Pero right now you're in Makati.
Yes, in
Okay.
Makati.
Ayun. So anyone can come and visit your art learning
yes,
center, diba? And then
They're
enroll
most
in
welcome.
classes.
We even have art exhibition after a certain period of time when the children have done many artworks or the students. We'll have art exhibition.
Oh, so it's a big space. It must be a big space
Yeah,
also. Kasi
it's
if you
just
can hold
okay,
an exhibition.
comfortable.
Yeah, that's very good. I think it will really develop into, eventually may museum ka na rin.
No naman.
Malay mo naman, di ba? Kasi I think Filipinos are very creative, so maraming magkakaroon ng interest. I'm not sure kung marami tayong art learning centers all over the country kasi as you said,
there are.
There are
There
din,
are.
marami din.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good.
But different from each other. We're different, you know.
Yeah, pero
Techniques, approach, and everything.
yeah, how about you? How do you select teachers for your school? Do they need to be an accomplished artist?
Yes.
Or, yes,
They
to
have to
able
be fine
teach?
arts major.
Kasi otherwise, it will be hard to teach art if
Correct,
you...
that's right. They wouldn't understand. You know, like, we don't want our teachers to be there just to be there, you know. They really have to teach. They have to teach technique. Because, like, you know, people pay us to teach them. And what is the use if the teacher would just tell you to copy something out of a book? You know, might as well they stay home, buy the art materials, buy the book, and copy it themselves, right?
Yeah.
But the teacher is there to teach them, to guide them. You know, when they don't know how to go about a certain technique, then the teacher is there to show them.
Yeah, that's true. I think it also entails, aside from the skill and the
Yeah.
background, meron ding certain kind of patience and character in order to
That's
become an
right.
art teacher.
Yeah, that's
Kasi
right.
artists can be temperamental as well. Siguro, even for youngsters, no, iba-iba yung talagang technique nila. And sometimes they look at it as play, pero actually they're learning.
Yes.
It's something that they're going to learn. I mean, for life if they keep on drawing or painting, etc.
Yeah, because during our art classes, we'd also give them visual vocabulary. So we kind of teach them like terms used in art classes. So like elements of art, you know, we teach them like what is, you know, horizon line, things like that. We really teach them. And then we
Wow.
teach them modern art. We don't just tell them, you paint anything and call it modern. We teach them, you know, you do something like the Fauvism movement, you do something like the pop art, you do something like the Cubism. So they learn these things, they learn art history, art appreciation, which is kind of, weave into the art classes.
Oo nga, it's not just about painting, there's also the theory, di ba? The
Yes.
discipline behind it. So
Yes.
it's a very holistic kind of art education that
Yes.
you give to your students. How about adults? You said it's open to art enthusiasts until 99 years
Yes.
old. How about yung mga adults? How do you teach them art, for example?
In the first place, adults are easier because they
They are.
already know a little bit about art, you know, and they have this determination. Sometimes because the kids are being sent there by their parents, you know. So the adults are easier to teach and they are more curious, you know, about, you know, history. They like to learn. You know.
How about you? Do you paint? Or are you also...
Yes, I do.
Yeah?
Ever since I was young.
Talaga? Inborn. So talaga you're an artist.
Not really a great
An artist
one.
and a businesswoman. Ako,
Yeah.
napakaganda combination yan. Kasi,
Not a great artist, but yeah, I can.
Because
can do
I
that.
was telling you earlier, there's a term, no, we called artists starving artists. Kasi
Yes.
normally, parang, anong profession ba yan? Is that something you can live out of? Is that something you can eat, diba? What do you think of that? Is it time we eliminate that notion of starving artists? Or what do you think?
Because there are so many kinds of artists, you know. Like if you're an artist, you work in an ad agency, you get paid very well,
Very
you
well,
know.
yes.
So if you're an artist like as a fashion designer and
Yeah,
you become
fashion
famous,
designer.
you know, you become very famous and then
Successful.
successful and you earn a lot, you know. So it all depends how you will take the art to your profession, you know,
yeah.
because and then there are many misconceptions about artists, like they're very moody, things like that. Diba? So,
but it's a misconception. Not all artists are
not
moody
all
or
artists,
temperamental.
The teacher I work with is very, very good. You know, she comes in on time. She doesn't, you know, have those mood swings. You know, like what we associate artists with.
Yeah, kasi
So,
when we think of artists, we think of
mood swings.
Picasso,
Or
yung
Van Gogh,
ganon.
ganon,
Van
ganon.
Gogh, yung ganon. Yung parang, di ba, they go to the extremes.
Yeah,
Parang ganon.
bipolar, you know.
Oo, yun. But it's
No,
not necessarily true. In real life, artists, especially Filipino artists, because you work with them, both in educating them and also as employing them as teachers or professors, it's not true. So it's a misconception pala.
I've worked with an artist who works in an ad agency, does everything for me. He works like any, you know, other occupation. He's very, very prompt.
No?
Yeah,
They keep the time. That's
yes,
that's
he meets
different.
deadline,
He
things
meets
like
deadlines.
that.
Okay, hindi siya yung parang maraming excuses na.
Yeah, no. But there are some who are like that.
Meron
you know.
pa rin ganon, but not all.
Not all.
I think rare din yung merong discipline. Hindi naman.
No, it's all also based on the person, so you can't say it's case to case din. You know, like we have also have weird accountants, diba? We also have weird people in every, you know, walks of life.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some more artwork to show. Okay, this one.
This is done
Is
by,
this the proper o pag ganon? Pag
like,
ganon siya.
I
Okay,
think
like this one.
Yeah, he signed it here.
Yeah.
Signed
Oo
his
nga,
name
no.
there.
So pag ganon.
No, I don't know.
No. Okay.
That's his interpretation.
All right. Okay. So is this this is done?
This is done by the guy, and this is done by the girl.
Okay. So for Visi movement.
Yeah, for
pareho.
wisdom. And then they were trying to work out something like a door to a garden or something. I think this is what it was all about.
And this was also used by, you know, using fine materials, fine art
Yeah,
materials.
acrylic.
Acrylic dito.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, one last. This one. Sorry.
I think this is done with a watercolor pencil.
Okay. Watercolor pencil. Ganda, no? It's a fruit on a table with cloth, pink cloth. So
This is done by 20 plus na
20
lady
plus.
artist.
Oh, kasi you can see the intricacies, no? I mean, children, minsan may pagka-basic sila kasi yung hand-eye coordination nila, hindi pa masyadong developed. Pero pag adults, makikita mo talagang, may difference talaga ng discipline. Okay, so can you tell us more about the programs na your school has that you can invite the public on this camera? So camera, you can invite them to, for example, visit your school. Where can it be found? And can anyone enroll? So how do we go to the Leo DV Art Learning Center? Rossana.
We have different classes. We have from age 3 to 6. We call that starter. And this class is supposed to expose the students to different kinds of medium, from crayons to markers to color pencils, mostly dry medium. We teach them how to make collage. We teach them how to use a scissor. We teach them also how to make clay sculpture. So this is the starter class. And then we have also another class we call the Art Explorer. It's for older students, 6 to 9 years old. It's a continuation of the starter class. We start to introduce wet medium. And then from there we move on to 9 to 13. Everything is like the class progresses, the skills also progress. And then we have teen adult classes. We have classes on figure drawing. We have classes on fashion illustration.
Wow.
Yeah, fashion illustration, not designing. There's a difference between fashion design and fashion illustration. Yeah, so we have a lot of classes. We have clay sculpture, we have cartooning, things like that. And
how about special classes? If, for example, I want to learn a specific, I don't know, technique, pwede yun? Can I ask, I want to be taught that kind of
Actually,
technique?
we offer one-on-one.
Ayun, one-on-one, that's what you call
one-on-one,
it,
yeah.
one-on-one. How about yung art parties that I've heard, one of a kind? I think that's the first ever in the country, art parties. Please invite the public to
if you have parties, if you have like birthday parties or any special events, and you would like it to be special, you can invite us, and we call it our art parties. So in the art parties, we provide everything, materials, everything, paper and the art material. And we also provide instruction. We also provide like an MC. And then we come up with an activity for all the guests. So that's our party.
I think that's very good. I have never heard of an art party. Leo DV Art Learning Center is the first to offer that. So please visit them. What's your address pala in Makati?
Our address is in the second floor of Allegro Center. It's in Chino Ross's extension.
You're open from what time to what time?
We're open from 9 to 6.
9 to 6.
Yeah.
So, yun. So, Chino Ross's extension, Allegro building. What floor again?
Second floor.
Second floor. Okay. Leo DV Art Learning Center, everyone. Please, if you have children or you would like to learn more about art, please visit Leo DV Art Learning Center. Thank you very much, Rossana, for
for
guesting in our show.
Yeah.
So, don't go away. We'll be right back after this short break.